Hello everyone, this is a lesson on the sum of arithmetic series. What do they mean by the sum of arithmetic series? This word sum, it means you add. So here you are given a pattern, but do you see the pattern has plus, plus, plus. So when we have something like that, it means it's the sum of the series. Arithmetic, because we'll get a common difference. So when you add them, you're going to write Sn. You remember when we were writing terms, we were writing T1. In this question, term 1 is 3. So with the sum, you are adding them. So the first Sn, what do you actually mean? You mean you add the first term. So when you add, no, not Sn, S1. When you add the first term, you're going to get 3. When you say T2, term 2, what is term 2? Term 2 is 7. But when you have S2, you actually mean you are adding the first term and the second term. So S2 is equals to 10. T5 is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. T5 is equals to 19. But S5, you add the first 5 terms. So it will be 3 plus 7 plus 11 plus 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 19. That is S5, adding the first 5 terms. So S5 will be equals to 10 plus 11 plus 15 plus 19. So S5 is equals to 55. So this is how term 5 and S5, sum 5 differ. Term 5, you go to that term. Which term is the fifth one? That's 19. S5, you add the first 5 terms. That's 55. Right. When we look at our series, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms. So we can calculate S7. S7, we're going to add them all. We're going to add 3 plus 7 plus 11 plus 15 plus 19 plus 23 plus 27. So S7 is 105. But now, can you imagine if you have 1,000 terms in this series? It means when you're given 3 hours in an exam, you'll be only calculating those terms for the whole 3 hours. So we actually have formulas that makes our life easier. There are 2 formulas. This formula, you get it in your formula sheet. You don't have to memorize it. You'll find it in your formula sheet. It's Sn is the sum of n terms. The formula says n over 2. N is the number of terms, is equals to 2a. As like in our patterns, in our terms, a is the first term. It's always the first term. And then n minus d, n is the number of terms, and then d is the common difference. So it's very similar to the one that we're using when we're calculating terms, which is also in your formula sheet. So this one, you get it exactly, you copied it from the formula sheet, no struggle. The next one, this formula, it's not in your formula sheet. You don't have to memorize it. But if you can, it will make your life easier. But not every time, in some instances. A is the same. Now this L stands for the last term. Not every pattern you'll be given the last term. So that's why it doesn't work all the time. You really don't need to memorize it. You can memorize it if you want to. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the formula to calculate the number of terms. No, the sum of the terms here. I am hoping to get 105. Let's do that. Now, what I'm going to do now, you don't have to do it in your question paper. You don't have time to do that. I'm just doing it so that you can understand better. A is the first term. It's 3. Our first term is 3. And then N is the number of terms in that pattern. So in this pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 terms in this pattern. And then D is the common difference. you take any two consecutive terms, meaning terms that follow each other, and then you subtract them. That's why it says different. 7 minus 3, which is 4. Now, with this question, they told me it's an arithmetic series. I don't have to test it. If they didn't tell you, you have to test. You don't do the common difference once. You have to do it twice. Then it should be common. What if it's not common? Then it means it's not an arithmetic series, and it means you cannot use this formula. It's a maybe a geometric sequence. Then you use a different formula that is in your formula sheet also. Now you go to your formula sheet, you copy it like it is in your formula sheet. In maths, when you copy an equation from the formula sheet, you don't get marks. So you won't get marks for doing this, but it will eliminate your mistakes. Then you substitute S, my n is 7, is equals to 7 over 2 into 2. My first term is 3 plus n minus 1. Don't write 7 minus 1. You've done it in grade 1. Subtract it already. 7 minus 1 is 6 multiplied by my d is 4. Right? Then when we are here, take your calculator and punch everything in your calculator. You won't get marks for adding these two together, then divide by that, then you won't get marks. The next mark that you're going to get, it will be your answer. Right, when you punch this, you go fraction 7 over 2. Most of the time, you'll find that it is divisible. You can divide it and have one number. And then, open bracket, 2 times 3 plus 6 times 4. And then don't forget to close the bracket, then say equals to. So your answer is 105. So this was just for me to prove to you that the formula will give you the correct answer as well. In your question paper, you are not grade 3s. You will never use that. I was just showing you how it's done and explaining it to you. You always use the formula. Which formula to use, it depends on you. If you like, you can use this one if you're given the last term. But this one always works because you'll have it in your formula sheet. So 99% of the time, use this one. This is extra things that you need to memorize and it's not necessary. This is the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching.